All right, next work in progress on Deckard. So I get the shirt done. Still the same day, by the way. I just took a break for a few hours, and this is where we were last time. Looks pretty damn sharp, I think. I'm really happy with this. So now we're going to get these parts done right here. His, I guess it's a blazer. I keep calling it a shirt, it's a blazer. And this is kind of a, it's like a leather tone, kind of yellowish brown. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a coat of this heavy golden brown and do a series of washes and stuff on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and get my airbrush going. 1 second. Let's get this going. I'm going to do the tie very last. I'm going to put the tie, do the tie last once we get everything kind of put together. So my goal today, which is, what is today? Today's Tuesday, would to be able to get the jacket on and the seams filled so I can worry about painting the outside of the jacket like tomorrow. So anyway, I'm going to start off with this heavy golden brown. I'm going to mix this up into my airbrush here a little bit. Just a little bit of water because I don't want makes it too thin. Oops, the bottle's clogged up because I forgot to put the lid back on. So let me get that unclogged real quick. So my last video, the shirt video, turned out to be an hour and a half. It's longer than I wanted, but that's okay. Maybe 1 or 2 people will watch it. Who knows? All right. Put that in there. These really aren't meant to be airbrushed. They're really meant for hand painting, but we're going to airbrush them anyway. Dang it. I got the wrong stuff in there. I put, shit. I put paint thinner and not water. Hopefully this does not clog the crap out of my airbrush. I'll be right back. Okay, so it took a while because those paints really are not meant for airbrushing, so I just did a light coat on the lapels here of the blazer. Can't think of the word. Now I want to warm this up and kind of get a brownish tone to it. So I think I'm going to go in. Again, this is me just kind of winging it. I'm going to go in with my transparent leather tan. Start laying in some brown. Turn down the air pressure a little bit. And I'm going to hit the shadows first. This is where it's hard to do this on video because I'm trying to get this in front of my face and then also show what I'm doing. So I got very little paint coming in. I can't even see it. Right there, got that shadow there. There's a shadow there. So I'm in all the shadows first, and then we're going to mist this kind of over. We're going to do it on the shadows on both pieces first. So maintain the same tone. Dry tip. So I kind of every once in a while point the airbrush off the piece and give it just a good pull. Kind of shake loose any dry tip. Oops. See, I got pulled it back too far. Okay. And come back and get kind of soft shapes. You can just clean the tip of my airbrush off. Got little splatters on there. Hopefully they'll come off. So I'm backed way off. I'm kind of just getting the shapes dialed in. So that's kind of it. I'm gonna do that on the other one, and then we'll blend it in. I'll be back. Okay, now it went much faster because I can get it right up to my face and see what I'm doing. So there we go. So now what I'm gonna do is gonna back this off a little bit and add a little more of this transparent leather tan to my airbrush. I'm gonna kind of blend this in a little bit. And it's still too yellow. I have to bring it down a little bit. Maybe add a little transparent red to this. The inside, even though you're not going to see it. Let's do the other side that way. Don't forget the inner edge, because we're going to see that. Okay, make sure we're looking pretty good on both sides. All right, a little bit more to this side. I'm going to seal this, and then you go tell my son to calm down from playing video games. But that's kind of like the base work right there. So I'm going to seal it and come back. All right, what I'm doing now is I'm going in with some transparent burnt sienna, and I'm just adding a little more kind of brown tone to it. So I've done this side already. I need to get a little red in there, but I'm going to layer this in here first. And it's basically just layering it on, kind of building it up a little bit slowly. I like the transparent because I keep all the work I did below. Excuse me. I wish I had some raw sienna, but I don't have any raw sienna. That's a slightly red tint to it. It sounds like pretty similar. Let's see. I almost did a different kind. I almost started over, but I'm gonna see if I can make this work. What I need is like a little orange. Is what I need. Gold toner. Do I have any transparent nicotine yellow? Vivid orange. Let's see what that does. Vivid orange. I'm gonna add it to my burnt sienna. See what it does. I'm gonna do that my son again. He's getting too worked up over video games. There we go. Now we're kind of getting what I want. Let's try some of that by itself. This is just the vivid orange straight. I may go back and hit the shadows again a little bit. Alright, nope, wrong side. I go this way. It's looking pretty good. Excuse me. I got a tickle in my throat. It's been bugging me all day. I'm looking back at my reference here. So I'm still a little too yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and these got a little texture, I'm going to go and seal these. And I'm going to do some of the little kind of brush, you know, stippling and stuff that I did earlier on some of the other pieces. But this is a good starting point. So let me seal these and come back. Alright, so now what we're going to do is I've got some burnt sienna here mixed up pretty watery on my palette. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to stipple this on top, and I think this will give me the color I need for the most part. It's pretty watery. And we get some Q-tips here. And let's try this out and see what happens. You got a paper towel over here to dab the excess off. There we go. Kind of give me the effect I want. Just work a little area at a time. I'll have to hit the shadows a little more one more time because I'm going to lose some of that work, but that's okay. I'll probably go in there with like burnt umber and do that. This seems to be the technique on this piece, is this stippling thing. But now I'm getting the correct color. Okay, so this video is an hour and a half long or 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing this process on both pieces, and I'll come back. All right, I'm gonna show you the look we're going for. So on the right, I did that kind of stippling effect with the burnt sienna, and this is what it looked like before. So I'm gonna do that to this side, and we're pretty damn close. So we'll look at it when I'm done. Okay, so here are both sides done with that burnt sienna kind of stipple effect. That looks really, really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and seal these, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit the shadows one more time with some burnt umber and see what it looks like. Okay, so what I'm doing is I didn't go back and seal it. I'm just going in with some burnt umber. You can see on the right here, it went in with the shadows. And I'll show you what I do. I'm basically just taking it right out of the tube here, and I'm getting most of it off my hand, onto my hand, so it's really dry. And I'm just going in here and hitting the shadows with that really lightly. It's giving me some really, really nice deep tones and some shading. You can see right there. Do the same thing here in the pocket. Around the edge of the pocket. Like that. And then these little shadows here, kind of rubbing it now. Get a little bit more. It's working out pretty good. It's probably a good thing I didn't see that, because what this does is this activates the paint a little bit, the paint underneath a little bit, helps blend it in. So this may be, I think those look pretty damn good. And according to the little reference on the side here, it's pretty close. I'm going to take a little more of this, and I'm going to get it down in this detail like that. I'm going to take a Q-tip and get the excess off. And if I need to, I can come back with my not burnt sienna, but and stipple some more on if I kind of lose that, and it kind of take some off there. A little wet on wet technique. Seems to be working. And then we're going to go back and with the burnt sienna. Got a lot on my brush, I don't need that much. Let me hit this with a hairdryer real quick. Just need a dry surface for this paint to stick to. Just like that. Oops, a little too much. Really want very little on your brush. Yeah, still too much. It's pretty good. There, a little bit there. Looks good. Let's hit these little creases a little more. I did it earlier, we're going to do it again. I'm doing all sorts of new techniques I've never done before on this piece. This has been a lot of fun. In the past, I would have never done all this one by hand. I would have done this all with the airbrush, but I like getting all these different textures in the surface. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna seal those and call those done, I think. Alrighty, and there's the blazer on the figure. Got a few little hairs in there I gotta take out from the cotton swabs, but that looks fabulous. I'm really happy with that. Alright, so the next step is I'm gonna make sure it's dry really good. I'm gonna glue the torso together, and I'm gonna glue this on, and then the next step is to work on the jacket. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these off, put these to the side for now. So I just sealed them. This isn't really dry. I hit them with a hair dryer, but really need to let them dry for, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. I'm going to glue the torso on, and I'm just going to go ahead and use some thick super glue or CA. This isn't a big piece. It's pinned very well. If it was like if I was trying to support weight, or this is weight bearing, I would use epoxy. But I'm just going to use some thick CA. I'm going to put in these big keys right here. I'm going to fill the holes. Those are. And then I'm going to put that together. And we're just going to let that sit for oh, 15 minutes or so. Let that set up. And then by that time that's dried, I can glue the sides on, and then we can work on the jacket. So like I mentioned before, put this somewhere where it's not going to fall over. So we got to do first on the jacket is we have to paint the inside of the jacket first, because you won't be able to get to it otherwise. So I have to come up with a color for the jacket, paint the inside, roughly paint the inside. You're not going to see a whole lot of it. Let's see how much you're going to see. I'm just off camera here. Actually, you'll see a good amount of it. So I'll probably airbrush that, and then it's kind of like a. From what I'm looking at here, it's kind of almost like an army green. So I'll probably do that in the spray booth with some Mr. Colors to get the inside done. Because if you look here, if I'm looking at David Fisher's paint up, it's kind of green and yellow with some brown. If I read the description of what he did, let me see what he used for his colors. Khaki brownish, yeah, khaki brownish color over the trench coat. So khaki brown, some green. So yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kind of go with that. So he's got this wet effect going on down here. I need to ask Rob if he wants that. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I kind of like it without too. I'm not sure. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna get the inside. We're gonna get this glued together what we can, and then we'll work on getting the jacket inside painted. And we'll put the jacket on, glue it into place, and then we'll fill the seams. And I'll probably use I don't know if I use epoxy or CA. I have to decide what I want to do there, but I will have to do some A's work on the seam here and on the sides and everything. So we'll come back and do that in a little bit. Clean the dust up a little bit and wash my hands, and this is where we are. So I glued this all together, and he looks really, really good. I'm super happy with this. So the jacket, let's put him aside. So this all glued together. It's not coming apart. Not pretty back here. That's okay. You don't see that part. As mentioned before, this has to be painted on the inside first, because this wraps around in 3 pieces. One there. Actually more than 3 pieces. You got the arms too. That there. So the important part first is to get the 3 big pieces to fit correctly and then worry about the arms. So basically I think what I need to do is get these 2 pieces to fit correctly, and then the back part should just fit right in. It should. Yeah, it's just a tight fit. Okay. So, got a little lip here. I'm not sure if that lip's supposed to be there. Doesn't go down any further in the shoulders. So I may have a little sanding to do to fix that. We'll see. Got a little unevenness right there. But that's the way it's sculpted. So yeah, it doesn't go down any further in the shoulders. So I'll have to look at the paint up in AFM and see how that fits. But that's the idea. So let's take this apart, and then we'll go to the paint booth and we'll see if we can't come up with a khaki, green, brown color. Let's put it aside. I don't want to play that too much on top of this because it's only been sitting for about 30 minutes and I don't want to mess up the paint. But it fits very well, as you can tell, for the most part. Let's put that. Alright, we're in the paint room now, so it's going to be a little loud because I got the fan going on. As you can see, my paint booth is an absolute wreck. all this stuff is, if it's from all the Krylon flat overspray. That's what all that overspray is from. I got to vacuum it out. Okay, going back to David Fisher's article, which I can't rave enough about. It's written very well. A lot of articles you read in AFM. I love AFM because it gives you great photos. But a lot of articles, and I understand because I've been asked to write articles before also, and I'm not an author by any means. It is really hard to get the type of information you need in a short amount of time to get the point across. And David Fisher did a really good job of simplifying his explanation. Now, he does have a pretty long article. It's longer than normal, but also because he has the diorama going on. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 6-page article, which is long for a magazine, but half of that is the diorama, and the first 3 pages are simply the figures. So in a 3-page article, he did a very good job of explaining what he's doing, and the pictures are really good. So huge props to the really excellently written article. So based on what I'm seeing here in the photos, it's kind of I'm looking at this as my guide. It's kind of a brownish with a green undertone, and it looks like he's doing some of that stippling effect. I'm going to airbrush this. I'm not going to hand brush it. The surface area thing is too big. It's supposed to be a smoother look to it, I think. So I'm going to airbrush the jacket. So and then if we want to do the rain effect, if that's Rob, if he wants that, I'm inclined to. Initially, I thought I wanted to do that, but now I'm looking at it. Since we're not going to do anything with the head where his head's wet, I think maybe we just leave it a dry look. So I need to pick a color, and I don't have a color that really matches this particularly, so I need to mix one up. So what I have, I'm going to use Mr. Color. That's like my one of my most used paints. Let's see if I can. I got a red brown. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to make up a color here. That is completely dry, and I don't have any Mr. Color Restorer. Mr. Color makes a specific thinner for paints if they've sat and they've solidified. This looks pretty good. Alright, so this is 2 brown. But I'm going to mix this with some, take some interior green. I'm going to mix up a color. So we're going to use, we're going to start playing scientist. So we got some Mr. Color red brown. Get a cup. And we're going to do that. We're going to use a little bit of this interior green. This will give it a little bit of the green tone that I'm seeing. Now, we never use Mr. Color paints. They're usually pretty thick out of the bottle. Add a little bit of that. So this has got a little bit of yellow, a little green. This will lighten this up. And that's going in the right direction, so I'm going to add more. I love my little Badger paint mixer. So right there, that's about where I got to be. Now this will dry a little bit darker. I may add a little bit more of this so I can go in and do the shading. So I'll need to keep this to the side. So I think it's a pretty good color right there, kind of khaki brown. And that's and that's what I'm saying about the article. Is the description of the colors, whether he tells you I'm using Tamiya or I'm using this color, just the description of the color is perfect for coming up with colors. Okay, so I've got this mixed up. I had a bunch of greens out here, which I don't need. So I'm going to stick with that brown and that kind of interior green color for my colors. I'm going to take half of this paint and put it in here. And I'm going to try to, unfortunately I don't have any extra bottles. So Mr. Color, if you don't know, you thin it usually 1 part paint to 1.5 parts thinner. So I got I'm just going to kind of get close to that. It's a good starting point. And I don't know if you know, but like these, you want to kind of get to the consistency of skim milk. It's pretty good consistency for most paints to go through an airbrush. Okay, just like that. And my brand, I just cleaned all my airbrushes the other day, but they get overspray. I'm gonna go ahead and use my. This still has some Stanover in it from earlier. Give me 1 second, I get some paint thinner. And this is why my airbrushes get so shitty so fast, because when I'm really enjoying a build, I move super fast, especially when I kind of have an idea of how I'm going to do something. I actually move pretty quick, and I just I'll come in here and I'll do something with the airbrush and I won't clean it right away. So then I forget about it and it sits, and sometimes it sits for days or whatever. Alrighty, so we're going to put this in the airbrush. This may be a little thick, but I'm using this, I wanted THP, whatever this is called. I was here with HPTH. I should be wearing a respirator because this is a lacquer paint, but I'm not going to, so you can hear me. I'm in my booth. It really needs to be clean. If you don't know, so my booth is in a little walk-in closet. Let me show you. So here's my studio. It's where I do 90% of my work. Here's my staging area over there, and then this is where I paint, my paint room. So it's a little walk-in closet that I converted to a paint room. And if you don't know, for a paint booth to work correctly, you have to have negative pressure. If I leave the door open, it's not going to suck anything out. You got to create a little bit of a vacuum. So I actually have a towel that props my door open just enough to create the negative pressure to kind of create a vacuum in here. A little more information than you needed. The jacket, where is it? Oh, okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and paint the inside of the jacket. I love these airbrushes. like a little mini HVLP gun. So this may be a little bright, but we're going to go and do some shading. Now we're going to worry about the outside for now. So 2 coats should probably do it. And then we'll let this dry 10-15 minutes. And we'll come in and do go ahead and do that part of the arm, the underside, that little edge. Oh. Thank goodness that did not break. I just dropped that piece. That would have sucked. Oh my god. I have done that before. The worst was I was doing a quarter scale Superman. I just got done the cape. I just finished the cape. Just finished it. Got the last bit of sealer on it. I was getting out of the booth and I dropped it and I broke it. I was like, holy shit. You know, just my luck. But, you know, I do shit like that all the time, unfortunately. I'm not the smartest. I'm kind of stupid sometimes. Don't tell my wife I admitted that. I'm going to do this in here too, because remember we got to mask off the whole, once this is on there and glued and putty, we got to mask off the rest of the figure. So I did get a little paint rub right there. Alright, there's the base coat. We'll let that dry for a while and come back and do some shading. Alright, so I switched airbrushes to one of my Iwata HPCS Plus. Doesn't matter what kind of airbrush. So I just went back and I added a little bit more of this, actually that's the wrong color. It's okay. I added a little propeller, this propeller color, this is a really good one. I'll use some red brown. Use a little red brown. I added a little propeller color, it's basically a brown, to that same picture I have just a little bit, so now I got kind of this color. And we're going to come in here and just lightly add some shadows to the inside of the jacket. We're staying under the same color family. And I don't want it too drastic. So I got a big soft shape, I back off, kind of just let it fan out. When I get a tighter crease, I come in closer. Just like that. A little soft crease in here. I don't think you see this in the back, but we're going to do it anyway. I know you don't see that, but doesn't hurt to do it. I'm going to go ahead and hit the inside edge of this. And for this part in the arm, just opening, I'm going to come in, I'm going to hit it. Actually, you're not going to see that. That gets covered up. Never mind. I forgot the arm's got to go in. So that's about it for the inside of the jacket. This side we got big softer shapes. So I'll back off. And this inside color really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. It's a good starting point because it's going to be dark anyway. I'm going to hit this edge here. So I'm spraying this edge, and I'm going this way because it's fading it off that way. So that's really about it. So now I'm going to go ahead and seal the inside, just the inside, because the outside is going to get all glued and stuff. So let me do that real quick. Just like that. I'll let that dry. I'm going to let this dry for maybe 20 minutes, and then we'll work on gluing the jacket on. Alright, so we let that dry for about 10 minutes, just enough so I can handle it. So what I want to do first, before I glue anything, is I'm just going to go ahead and use, sorry about all the background noise, my house is always noisy. I'm just going to use, again, thick CA. I don't want to use epoxy because I'd have to clamp things, and I don't want to clamp on this piece. So I'm just going to use thick CA. But the first thing I want to do is I want to remove the paint from the surfaces that are going to be glued together so I have a better bond. So I got a little lacquer thinner in here. I'm going to get my Q-tip, and I don't want it super wet. I just want it damp. We're going to take the paint off these down to the resin. Just like that. Just like this. That way I have a good surface to glue to. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just taking the excess off. Let that dry on my hand. Take this off. Like that. I'll take this off. Okay. And we're going to take this off too, because I'll probably put just a little bit of glue on this edge. Like that. We get a clean Q-tip.
What you doing?
Recording a video.
Nice. What you recording about?
I'm recording on painting this character from a really cool movie called
Blood of the Dead.
Oh crap.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. See, I get distracted and I screw up. Thank God that gets covered up. I had paint thinner in my hand and I picked this up. Really not my son's fault, it's my fault, but it just happened to happen when he walked up. So I got a little paint thinner on this Q-tip now. And we're going to take it off in here.
Oil it out.
Nope, taking the paint off. So this will glue better. Just like that. And the same thing over here.
Is this going to go on YouTube?
Yep. So we got bare resin there, and we're going to take it down to here.
Nice beats.
All right, and then I'm gonna take the. I don't think I'm. Sorry, it's so noisy here all the time. I apologize. Okay. So now, 1 second.
Whoa.
All right, sorry. One of my dogs was barking in the background. All right, moment of truth.
Beer.
No beer in the fridge, unfortunately.
Aww. There's one bottle.
Okay. Hey, Owen.
Yes.
As much as I love you, it's really hard to concentrate when you're talking to me in the background. Thank you. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to glue this piece on. It fits. Let's see. If I do that, I'm going to kind of dry fit here. And then if I do this, the problem with super glue is you have to work fast. So I want to make sure that when I glue these on, this lines up. So I want to make sure that these line up just like that. Again, sorry for all the noise in the background. All right. Okay. So I think, oh my gosh. So I get those on there like that. I'm just working through this, going through the motions. So I did look at I went and looked at the article, and there is a step there on the one David Fisher did also. So he just kind of puttied and smoothed it over. Okay. I'm just thinking out loud here, working through the process of doing this so I don't screw it up. I'm thinking if I just put glue on that one lap joint there, that's enough to hold this together and I can fill the seam just fine. Let's take that off. Let's take that off. Okay. Let's get a little glue. Hold on. This is clogged up as usual. A little bit there. And a good rule of thumb is you always put glue on the piece you're gluing to. You don't put glue on the piece you're... So I wouldn't put glue, except for here, bad representation. I wouldn't put glue on this spot and then try to put it on. I'm going to put glue on the thing I'm gluing to. Use a little Q-tip to spread it out a little bit so I don't get ooze out. Okay. I'm going to turn it around and work this way, I think. I'm not going to push it down yet because I want to make sure that this is lined up correctly. I don't care if I get a little ooze out on this joint here. Okay, put that together. Push down. And I'm just going to hold this for a little bit. I'm going to take a little I'm not going to spray it. I'm not going to take some accelerator. I'm going to put it in a cup. And I'm going to use a brush to wick it down this joint. Help activate that glue that's in there. I don't want to get... Activator is actually harmless on your paint. It won't hurt it. But I don't want to get it everywhere since I'm kind of manhandling this piece right now. And I can also take a little bit of this and work it in here. There's no going back now, it's not coming off. Thought about using auto body filler on these seams, but I'm going to use A's because it'll help just strengthen the joint too. And I can sculpt it. Okay. So that part of the jacket is on. Looking really, really good. So I got a little schmutz in my paint right there. It's no big deal because when I cover this guy in saran wrap, I'll sand that down and respray it a little bit. Okay, so the jacket moves a little bit right there. Take that off. I'm going to go ahead and take the paint off of this. Of this right here. And this joint. That. And then off the bottom, because I got primer on it. Okay. Let's make sure my hands are clean. Now we're going to glue this back piece on. Okay, we use a Q-tip to kind of... This part doesn't matter. If I get ooze out, I'm not going to see it. I'm going to put some on this edge here. And a little bit up here, not much. Okay, let's put this piece on. All right. Jacket is on. Got little hairs here from when I was doing my Q-tip technique. I'm going to take them out. Alrighty. So I'm going to let that glue set up pretty good. Before I do any seam work, I guess I could. Where are the arms? Those have to go on too when I do the seam work. I could put those on at the same time. Because I gotta go in with Aves to do it around that edge there. The tricky part will be getting paint up in there. I gotta do Aves there. It's been not a long video. That's what happens when you do it in real time and you get to listen to me think about stuff. Okay. Starting to look like something. Okay, here's an interesting part. That didn't. So there's a pretty decent gap at the bottom here. I put glue on that bottom edge, but they don't even touch. So we'll have to fix that with Aves. Not the end of the world. Okay, so I'm wondering if I should put the arms on and then do Aves. Probably that way it can all cure at the same time. And for the Aves of the arms, I really have to worry about just around to this point and to that point. So let's go ahead and put those on. Those would be tricky getting paint up in those areas. Not the end of the world. Okay, glue again. I'm putting quite a bit on because I actually don't mind if I get a little ooze out on this and I can wipe it and it'll help fill the gap a little bit. Okay. All right, and we just got to fill that gap around there. That lines up well there. So we'll slow down. This process will slow down right here with the jacket. We were moving pretty quick there for a while. So I get a little bit of ooze out, that just kind of helps fill the gap. I'll have to go back and do some work, but it's kind of an initial filling and it just helps strengthen that joint. Okay. And then this piece, I think, I need to heat it up a little bit. I think I'll put this piece on after I kind of fill in this seam a little bit. So I may stop the work in progress here and then continue with the next one, finishing this up. That way it's just not so damn long. Or I can just do this part off camera and then come back to when I paint the jacket. So I may do that. So I'm going to call this work in progress done, up to getting the jacket on. So we made really good progress today. Got the shirt painted. I did 2 videos: the shirt, the blazer, and getting the jacket inside painted and the jacket on. So we're looking really good. Really cool piece. So there you go. Let's put the head on just for the heck of it. See what it looks like. There you go. Looking sharp. So that's it for this video. Another long one. But as always, thanks for watching. And next video will be, I'll show the putty work, how I do that. It's pretty simple, straightforward. And then we'll get the jacket painted. And then skin tones. Actually, now I'm thinking what I could do is I could work on the skin tones tonight while this dries, while this blue dries. So I may do that. I don't know. I'll think about it. I put a good amount of time on this today. Got about seven hours on it. So yeah. So I'm going to call this work in progress done. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.